We hope you enjoyed those sessions on Women Who Dare, pioneers of the care economy, and this year's rising talent who are paving the way for an inclusive recovery. You can catch up on any session you missed on the Women's Forum website. Now we're taking a moment to share some of the stories that we ask participants to submit. Their personal journeys of empathy, solidarity, and inclusiveness. We have heard from many of you, and we are now pleased to share stories from Fanny Agostini, a journalist and sustainability advocate, and Caroline Casey, an advocate for persons with disabilities. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Fanny Agostini. I'm an environmental activist and journalist working for radio and television. A year ago, I gave up my Parisian life to return closer to nature and my values and decided also to create with my husband an NGO that we named Landestini. This organization aims to help anyone wishing to adopt a more sustainable way of life closer to the land. When Henry Landes and I created this NGO, we called upon people with multiple skills to oversee the various projects. What is striking is that mostly women became involved with us. This shows once again that women are the most attracted to these issues of environmental preservation and who strongly believe that the alliance between new economic models and the preservation of living things is necessary. My greatest wish for tomorrow is for the planet's preservation to become a male ambition as well. We women proclaim it loudly. It is extremely virile and sexy to want to preserve nature. Disrespect of nature, alienation of women and the planet must become completely outdated and even more than it is today. I would like to take this opportunity to send a message to all the men who want to join us in Landestini to protect the planet and follow the path opened by women.
So they say diversity is being asked to the dance and inclusion is being asked to dance. We talk about there needs to be different seats at the table for full human inclusion. Well, I want to break that table. I don't even want a table. I want us to all go back to the campfire and sit in a circle and dance around that campfire, and it be an ever enlarging circle. Inclusion to me means everyone. It means everyone. However, there is one tribal human truth, and that is that inclusion is difficult because human beings really are frightened of difference. So for me, my name is Caroline Casey. I am the founder of the Valuable 500. I'm obsessed with business' role to play in creating a world where we all belong, where truly no one is left behind. I'm going to give you a few stats. 90% of our companies in the world say they're passionate about inclusion and diversity, and yet 9% of them consider a disability. Well, that's an inclusion delusion. How on earth can any company claim to be passionate about inclusion if you're leaving off 1.3 billion people, which is 15% of our global population, and with a mom and a dad, that is 54% of our global population. Another stat, 54% of our global companies have never had a conversation about disability. Well, how can we have inclusive business if we don't have inclusive leaders? And the other thing that I think is extraordinary is that disability, though is on the inclusion agenda in business, is the one that is often on the sidelines. And so one of my big things is, how can we really have inclusion if we have our agendas put into silos where we pit areas of humanity against each other? Where it's okay still to say this year we're going to focus on gender and next year we're going to focus on LGBTQ. That is not okay. There is no hierarchy of inclusion or a priority list. We are all made up of multiple labels. I've said this 1,000 times. Labels are for jam jars. They've even taken that from a TED talk and put it on a Smirnoff campaign. The issue for inclusion as we move forward in this decade of disruption is intersectionality, big word to mean human being, integrating, infusing. Our business needs to reflect our humanity. We need to interweave all of humanity into business. And when we speak about inclusion, we speak about inclusion in its broadest sense. We have to be brave because we're going to make mistakes. And anybody who says they're an inclusion expert, well, I'm very scared of them because there can't be one. We need to fail because we have to innovate and pull apart all that separates us and builds it back together again. And we cannot cancel each other out. We simply cannot. We cannot end the exclusion crisis that exists in this world if we are too frightened to try. It is okay not to know what to do, but it is not okay not to do something. We have to kill off the fear of getting it wrong and kill the indifference if it doesn't mean us. But it is possible. And this pandemic, to quote Leonard Cohen, it's the cracks when the light gets in. Well, let's make something of this moment because we can and we will.